I was hanging out either with grandfather or dad. I would ride on the milk truck. He drive milk to the Andes Co-op Creamery every day, and had 28 stops up over this county road. There isn't one of them shipping milk today. I was the last. And that shows you how much our county has changed. The first thing I was in love with was the animals. I've had a dog follow me since I was 3 years old. And I'm probably better with animals most of the time than I am with people. We worked a lot, we rented a lot, we leased some of it we just managed. So by that point, I was well in my 40s. It was pretty obvious to me, unless I married a girl with kids, I wasn't going to have any. And so I said, well, how am I going to structure this farm so it stays farming? Well, I put an easement, a watershed ag easement on the farm. And when I sold the cows in 19, that was a bad day. I come home with a migraine. I was very disappointed when the last of the cows were sold. I sat at a meeting about, might be close to 10 years ago now. Time goes quick. And I listened to people, this lady talk about they couldn't get enough land in the Hudson Valley to grow food for nonprofits and for food banks. And I said, hell, we got that land right up in the Catskills. Let's get them up here. And it wasn't progressing, so I made up my mind, well, what? You got no kids. Maybe you ought to be the first one to do it. Why did I pick what I did with the farm last year and this group of kids? Because they want the same thing. I saw it and see.
Going from the city to this rural country space was really scary. The first most terrifying thing was the silence. I couldn't handle the silence and being in silence in my head for so long. I was searching for community outside of New York City, outside of the Bronx, to be able to have access to rural space, have access to land to grow at capacity for mutual aid and for the community. So when touching the ground, when feeling the soil, I feel my community. I feel the people who raised me. I feel the Bronx that's defined me, and it pushes me to want to continue to reciprocate that love, that intention, that energy, and that community. This is like representing like my non-binariness. It's like one side, other side, like emulating one.
You gotta make your New York City. Hi. So good to see you too. C's here. Hey. Nice to see you.
See you too.
Going up soon. So I just picked it up last Thursday.
It's like a prefab thing?
Kind of. It's from Ledgewood greenhouses in New Hampshire.
You want to do some of this?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right.
Let's make some boxes. It makes me feel like I'm just like back here. It feels good.
How big is the space that you're working on right now?
It's 1.5 acres, but I'm only going to be working on an acre. And next year, I'm gonna ask for 2 acres because I'm doing it all kind of solo. But last year I did almost an acre solo, so I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Right.
Especially like the
And
machinery.
how was like how was your back by the end of the season or whatever, like physically? Were you able to I know you can like gut through it,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know, it's a lot of physical work and then there's never an off day.
You are correct.
You can build yourself an off day, but like, you know, it's a day maybe.
Yeah.
There's no summer vacation. There's
Yeah.
no.
There's none. That is very true. I'm very excited to see you. Are these grandma's markers? To everyone here from Sabrina. Wow, this is so great. Then I just have like pictures, me and my grandmother, the inspiration of Sarah V. the farm. She's the reason why I got into farming. When she passed, I was just looking for ways to connect to her, and we connected a lot through plants and community and food, and why I definitely farm, for sure. Yeah. So will you? Oh, where's your coat?
Anyway, how you doing, kid?
I'm alive.
You went to a city?
Yeah,
Quick one?
Quick
Quick
one.
down and back?
super quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
But a tough trip, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause
It
you
wasn't
drive-
that bad.
I don't experience it much, or haven't experienced it much, and I'm not sorry for that.
Yeah. Well, I gotta bring you down with me to the Bronx.
No, don't count on it.
Too.
Oh, he'd like to. Come on, buddy. He hates riding in the truck. But I'm familiar with that. We used
Hey,
to
don't
have
get
St.
jealous,
Bernards.
Bear. Jealous.
All right, I'm gonna feed these cows.
Same. Because I grew on not even a half acre, it was like a quarter, like a third of an acre last year, and I produced almost 5,000, 6,000 pounds of food. So, and that just comes from my experience with urban farms and community gardens and like how much food we would produce at like Morning Glory. Like we would produce a lot of food at Morning Glory. So it's like the same idea. The barriers for land access for BIPOC, QT BIPOC folks and just like people of color in general, it very much mirrors like my experience and to various different degrees of where I stand in my physical and navigating identity, but financial access, it's been very, very hard to acquire like financing and capital startup for the farm. And also just like being a first-time farmer, being a beginning farmer, not having farming within my lineage for many, many years, there's a huge disconnect. So it's like I'm going into a space where the networks are not there, my family is not directly connected to agriculture anymore, and I'm at the same time, while I'm learning how to farm the landscape that I'm currently within and like the geographical location, I'm also trying to support myself financially, support a startup of the farm without coming from wealth. It's very competitive to get financial support, and it's also really hard to find land. So this opportunity with Tom and American Farmland Trust and the West Branch Commons is like a needle in a haystack of opportunities, and once in a lifetime to be able to have land tenure, like equitable land tenure. You can build your own assets and equity on the farm, your sweat equity.
How far out you want to
as far out as, it makes sense for you to get through.
And that's what I did. I worked for 6 years to put this program together, and they gave me an appraised value American Farmland Trust. They were ones that helped us set up the easement program with the watershed, and they bought me out, and they're the ones that brought the girls here. And they're going to own it for about 5 years, and hoping that this other group behind them that's going to bring more people up, possibly.
He wanted a group of people. He didn't want it to just be one solo owner. And there's one other farm, Iridescent Earth Collective, and myself, Sarah Vita Farm, as the anchor leases in apprenticeship, and also as Tom mentors us and helps us with shared resources such as tractor work, such as infrastructure like holding space, and also just giving us land wisdom. So that's pretty much how it came together. 3 years later, we are now incorporated as the West Branch Commons Community Land Trust. What's it like to be my friend?
That's pretty neat. At first I started calling these 3 girls, the initial group, all my daughters, because I was a psychological reason on my part, because I knew I never could hold back and curb my tongue. This farm meant too much to me. They're self-employed. They're out on their own. They're doing like I am. So I wanted to train the girls a little bit on what they needed to do to survive. And you think you own it for a while when you're young. You don't own it. God owns it all. And we're just here as a temporary caretaker for it. And that's going to be my legacy is going to be this farm. And I hope I'm upstairs looking down at it and it progresses on.